His legions of fans called him the singing lawyer, the people's singer, and the Elvis of Malaysia, but most simply regarded him as Malaysia's ambassador of pop. Whatever the title, Sudirman Arshad was definitely a true Malaysian icon, a multi-talented entertainer whose talent was sadly extinguished all too soon.
Orang kenalkan dia as a person who can draw one Malaysia. Because all Chinese, Malays, Indians semua sayang dia, kan? Memang betul ya. Kalau kita jumpa dengan orang India pun dia kata dia Miss Sudirman, you know, dia. Because he make himself available to everybody.
Premiering this Sunday at 10 p.m, History in collaboration with FINAS, the National Film Development Corporation of Malaysia, chronicles the story of Sudirman, the Temerloh Pahang-born entertainer who took the Malaysian entertainment industry by storm during the late 80s before his career was cut short by his untimely death in 1992 at the tender age of 37. Through revealing interviews with friends, personalities from the Malaysian recording industry, and even Sudirman's sister Datin Rudia Arshad, this one-hour documentary looks at the real story behind the Malaysian icon with the unstoppable drive for perfection.
I suka lagu dia, not because he's my brother, but I know he sings from his heart. Dari hati dia, kan? Dia nyanyi dari hati. You feel it, ya.
Famed for his dazzling stage performances and versatile talent, Sudirman achieved more accolades than any other Malaysian artist in his prime, enjoying success as a lawyer, television host, writer, cartoonist, actor, and entrepreneur. Bae Swat Peng, Sudirman's former label boss at EMI, who worked together with the man for more than 10 years, remembers the performer as a consummate professional with a burning desire to succeed in the industry on his own terms.
Well, you know, Sudir was a very passionate man. He really believed in himself, and he knew what he wanted to do, what his priorities are, and if he has an idea, he can be quite stubborn about it, you know, because he's very passionate about what he thinks and what he feels. He's very creative, and so we had a good times, you know, a lot of fun arguing, and but he is also he's also very Malaysian in the sense that he's very respectful, you know. He would never ever be rude to me, even though he disagrees with me or anything like that.
Daniel Darani Kanan, Sudirman's former manager, was better positioned than most to get a proper perspective on the real Sudirman.
One thing that he always told me, and I learned from him, and I believe the reason why he was able to achieve all he did was his firm belief in the talents that he had came from God, given to him, bestowed to him by God, and he always challenged himself to see what he always believed that talent comes from God, and what you do with that talent and you give back is what you give back to people and you give back to God. So he always that sense of humility and being humble and always being grounded.
Even after 2 decades on from his passing, it is as an artist of the highest caliber that we remember him best. Humble and grounded it may well have been, but Sudirman was a rock-solid performer. Lest we forget, he's the man who went on to become the first ever Asian artist to record an English single at the illustrious Abbey Road Studios in London, and who went on to win Best Performer at the inaugural Asian Music Awards held at the Royal Albert Hall, London in 1989, beating off strong challengers from heavyweights like Anita Sarawak and Leslie Chung. The last word on a truly unique Malaysian talent? Well, it has to go to Simon Napier Bell, creator of the Asian Music Awards, and a man who certainly knows a thing or two about spotting world-class talent when he sees it, having managed the likes of George Michael, Mark Bolan, and David Sylvian, to name but a few superstars during a hugely successful 3-decade career in the music business.
No, I met him in London. I came here with my partner and we looked at a lot of artists, and every manager told us this was the artist to take, and we liked Sudirman. And then I met him in London when he came to perform, and he was shy and polite and retiring, as most artists are actually when you meet them in that situation, before they jump up the stage and be unshy and unpolite and throw themselves at the audience. He was a pretty typical artist in the real sense of an artist, He had the insecurity and he had the desire to be huge, and there's conflicts inside him. That's what makes you know you've got a real artist. And of course he sang wonderfully, and he had this magnificent song.